Truth Seeker. Last night, the state of New York's 237th birthday as a state. The Orange Goon. The overgrown Oompa Loompa. Donald Trump. He said he's thinking about prosecuting Beyonce, maybe Oprah, maybe Al Sharpton. He says the Democratic Party bribed them to promote Kamala in her attempt to beat him out for the presidency. And everyone should be going, well, like, where's this come from? I mean, the election was a while ago. Inauguration was quite a while ago. What is he? He's on his trip to play golf, and this is what's on his mind? Again, he's mad about $11 million. How much are we paying Secret Service so that he can go golfing overseas right now? Anyway, of course, we know where this came from. It's not even hard to understand when you know what we know, the thing that nobody else wants to know, because everyone else thinks it's just a bunch of coincidence and confirmation bias and God knows what else they say. But again, for those of us in the know, Kamala, she's been doing 42 rituals since the 42nd day of 2019, and really even before that. But again, here we are 42 days after Trump's birthday, right, on July 26th. And keep in mind, it was the 237th birthday of New York. Those are the prime factors of 42, 2, 3, and 7. If you forgot, you learned about prime factors back in your schooling days. They're the prime numbers that when multiplied together equal the number. So 2, 3, and 7 are all prime numbers. You multiply them together, 2 times 3 times 7, it's 42. On the 237th birthday in New York, 42 days after Trump's birthday, he's thinking about Kamala and the black people that might have gotten some money they shouldn't have. But what a joke, right? I mean, remember, go back to 2019. I remember like it was yesterday. It's hard for me to believe it was 2019. It's hard for me to believe it was that long ago. It was like the 5 millionth time I was educating about 42 and black rituals. Again, this number that's stamped all over black history. Kamala, the story that day that CNN was running is, question Kamala's blackness. Kamala takes questions about her blackness. And what a lot of people didn't realize is it was the 10th anniversary of her mother's death. Yeah, Kamala's mother, who was Indian, died on February 11th, the 42nd day of the year. 10 years to the day later, CNN and Kamala are doing a segment about her blackness. And now fast forward to her being the Democratic candidate installed almost a year ago today. It was July 21st that Biden passed the torch to Kamala. The anniversary of the Jesuit suppression. Of course, the Jesuits run the whole puppet show because they gave us the language and the calendar, and you got, Jesuit-educated chump up here again. Biden was Jesuit-educated as well. But again, look at it, you guys. Is this not a joke? 42 days after Trump's birthday, all of a sudden this focus, and most of the headlines are focused on Beyonce and Oprah. And of course, it was Oprah who asked Trump in '88 if he'd want to be president someday. And remember, Oprah had the nice ritual with Kamala 47 days before the election in Oakland, Michigan, the 248 area code, while the country was 248 years old when President Donald Trump equals 248 in Gematria, like Trump alone equals 47 in the 248. Oprah doing this ritual again 47 days before the election with Kamala. And don't forget, Kamala spoke in Chicago on the anniversary of Huey P. Newton's death, who died at 47. And, of course, the other famous Black Panther, Fred Hampton, was assassinated in Chicago where the DNC was. And don't forget Candyman, which equals 42, set in Chicago. And, of course, Tony Todd, the actor for Candyman, was announced dead the same day that Trump was called the president-elect, taking 312 electoral college votes, like the Chicago area code. And then the Pope dies on the 312th day of Trump's age. And you get the first American Pope from Chicago, replacing the first ever Jesuit Pope who died by the numbers. But yeah, seriously, just right here. How blatant is this? Kamala, who got 42% of the Electoral College, is back in the headlines 42 days after Trump's birthday. Does it not I mean, we prove this every day, but to everyone, this should be proof that these people are Kabbalistically controlled puppets. Again, this whole thing of letters and numbers and dates comes from Kabbalah. I don't know why nobody looks into anything. It's maddening. Like, well, I got a ball game to watch. I got to watch the 8th spinoff of The Walking Dead. It's like, where are your priorities? How about learn about history and learn about the history of Kabbalah being brought to Europe by the Templars after the Crusades, and then it's spreading across the ruling class, since a lot of those Europeans came over here and set up this nation. You don't think they brought this knowledge over? I mean, really? Trump in his own books writes about Kabbalah. He writes about the Kabbalah teacher he had when he was a youngster. I don't think it is Trump that comes up with these scripts, though. He just carries them out, just like when he's been in Hollywood movies. But yeah, it's maddening. And here, just to go back in time, this is my post from February 11th, 2019. Harris takes on questions about her blackness. This is the 42nd day of the year for anyone who needs help with the math. January has 31 days. 31 plus 11 is 42. And by the way, that's the Vatican's birthday as well. Again, we're on the Catholic Church's calendar. We're speaking their language. Again, the Jesuits are the military order of the Catholic Church, established in the 16th century. They gave us the calendar at the end of that century. And standardized English as we know it with 26 letters and the agreed to spellings we use today, minus the few differences between the UK and over here where they spell gray different and they spell defense different and color different. But other than that, almost everything else is standardized. But yeah, just to go through some of these other 42s. February, brothers, Bravo Mike. That's what cops refer to black males as, a Bravo Mike. The N-word. Remember, WrestleMania 42 is coming up. The Hulk just died 10 years to the day using that word. And it's all synced up with The Rock, who's considered black because he's like 1/8 black. And I do wonder, since Hulk died 18 days before his birthday and he lost to The Rock in WrestleMania 18 and he died on the 24th and he was known for the 24-inch pythons, I wonder if The Rock from WrestleMania 18 to when he beat Hulk to 42 is 24 later. I'm thinking about that. I've never done a WrestleMania prediction before because I'm not a wrestling guy at all, but I know how the numbers work. I'm thinking, The Rock, WrestleMania 42, huh? He's considered black even though he's more of an Islander. But anyway, again, the first black baseball player in Major Leagues, Moses Walker. Yeah, even before Jackie. Remember that we were just talking about the other day about the actor from The Walking Dead. He was black, named Moses, who died on Jackie Robinson's birthday. But Moses Walker played in 42 games. His name equals 42. One of the biggest black stars on the world stage, LeBron James, of course, 42. He's had about 1,042 rituals in his playing career. Again, run the alphabetic order forwards with numerology. All these words are 42. Run it in reverse with numerology. Slavery, Jackie, Martin, Malcolm, Huxtable, Cosby Show, Tuskegee, a lot. There's a lot more that can go on that list. Big old 42. At the time this was buzzing, all of these people were doing 42 rituals. Jussie Smollett, James Brown. Well, James Brown was dead, but they were doing 42 rituals with him while he's in the grave. LeBron, Kamala, Cory Booker, Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby, when he got his name drugged through the mud, it was just 42, 42, 42. Remember, Huxtable and Cosby Show are 42. The Virginia governor, we used that to call. I think that was the time when we used it to call in February why Virginia was going to win March Madness that year. So one big ritual, the lieutenant governor getting accused of the RAPE back when he was a student. Yeah, anyway. Yeah, Corey Maggette, Kareem Hunt. Yeah, just all of these things were, again, I mean, at the time I was just like, look, in the last week, all of these people have performed in 42 rituals. Here's another one. Kamala questioned her blackness on the 42nd day of the year. I mean, give me a break. You know what's funny that I didn't put up there? I didn't put Kamala up there. How'd I miss that? I guess it was blame it on the ganja. I'm guessing that's what happened there to miss the Kamala one, but Anyway, yeah, 42 days after Trump's birthday, again, on the 237th birthday of New York, the prime factors of 42. And then something else that stands out, Oprah's 71 right now. I just pulled up the post the other day. Here, I'll pull it up again. Remember when Birth of a Nation came out and they said it was a bust at the box office? Oh, what? How come it didn't come up? They said it was a bust at the box office, only making 7.1 million its opening weekend, and it came out on the 7th day of the 10th month, 7/1/0. Has that 7-1 sequence. Again, African American equals 71. This is back before Gematria existed. This would be that dark blue cipher, the same when all those things equaled 42 in. But African American 71. It's about Nat Turner, who died November 11th, 1831. The date was 71 numerology. Keep in mind the word black equals 11. He died on 11/11/31. 31's the 11th prime. Just like how Trump's saying that the DNC paid Beyonce $11 million for her celebrity appearance, but apparently there's no proof of that. He just pulled the number out of his Kabbalistic ass that it was $11 million. Again, black 11. It's just like Kamala did that on the 11th of February, the 42nd day there, questioned her blackness on the 11th when black is 11. Again, here's the 4 base ciphers. The dark blue one, black 11. In that same cipher, African American 71. Outside of the base ciphers, there's 2 related ciphers known as Septenary and Chaldean. You see how African Americans 44 and 43 in those ciphers? Think of Obama, the first African American president, number 44, but he was really the 43rd person to be president. When he gave his acceptance speech in the land of Lincoln, Lincoln has a lot of 43 connections. He did that on 43 date numerology as the president-elect to become the 43rd person to be U.S. president. The count was off because of Grover Cleveland. So Obama, number 44, but the 43rd person. I bring this part up because notice Beyonce's 43 while this happens, right? Oprah's 71, Beyonce's 43, 42 days after Trump's birthday. You could also say it was the 43rd day of his age. And we're right before Obama's birthday. Obama's about to turn 64. It is interesting that Obama's about to turn 64. It makes me wonder what's going to happen because Barack Hussein Obama's 64. In that same cipher where Barack Hussein Obama's 64, so is civil rights, like the Civil Rights Act was 1964. There was also a Civil Rights Act of 1864 back in the time of Lincoln. Obama being from the land of Lincoln. But civil rights, Barack Hussein Obama, both 64. Of course, Obama became number 44 years after the Civil Rights Act, running on hope. But 64 and 44 are fateful numbers. They show up in the killing rituals all the time. Especially for comedians. Comedians 64 and 44 like kill. And it seems like almost every year there's a suspicious death right around Obama's birthday. The other year it was the Lion King voice actor when Obama told the joke at the White House Correspondents' Dinner back in 2011 with Trump in attendance that he was born in Africa, and he played the footage of the Lion King. And Obama said he's really Simba, and get the joke with the numbers. Simba 44, like number 44. Who put out his book, A Promised Land, on the day leaving 44 days left in the year, November 17th. At that same White House Correspondents' Dinner, if you've never seen it, watch it. April 30th, 2011, it was the Church of Satan's 45th birthday. Obama said Trump will become the 45th president. They did a big graphic of the White House lit up like a casino. Trump with models in the hot tub and the front lawn of the garden, or the White House yard. But hold on real quick. Mom, can I call you back? Okay. All right, bye. All right, hold on. We'll wrap it up here pretty quick. I know my mom needs help with something, but she can wait a minute. Yeah, again, mega, the highest degree of the Church of Satan, and then Barak means lightning, and Satan comes to earth in a bolt of lightning in the Bible. So Barack has a Satan connection, Trump running on mega, and just his whole personality. Again, the Church of Satan, if you don't know, the first tenet of the Church of Satan is to worship yourself. To worship yourself. I mean, you just think about that with Trump. He is the biggest self-worshiper in the history of self-worshipers. But okay, yeah, I think I've made the point. And again, I really need to hear from the people who just turn these videos off. Can you guys leave a comment sometime and be like, explain to me why you think this is all confirmation bias and whatever, all the other stuff that occasionally you guys will express. Like, how do you think this stuff is just a coincidence over and over and over? And I mean, just even the Candyman death, the day they call it for Chump. You know, have you seen the new Candyman movie? They said it's set 42 years later. Just read about it. They use that in the terminology. They say it's set 42 years from the original later. And then if you've seen the new movie, in the room where the murder happened, there's a big 42 in the middle of all the graffiti on the wall. I mean, they show it multiple times throughout the movie. You can't miss it. A big just 42 painted on the wall. Set 42 years later equals 42. He's dead as Kamala gets 42% of the Electoral College when she had the convention in Chicago. She might as well have had it in Cabrini Green. But yeah, it's just, you know, the other YouTubers out there that watch my channel clearly and then don't matter. Like this guy just showed up in my feed. He has 250,000 subs, and he keeps mentioning that the gematria is on point. The number, all this is numbers and gematria. I was watching this guy stream, and somebody gave him a $2 super chat telling him to check out my work, and he's like, you don't put $2 out here to promote somebody else's channel, and then he said, you're getting the block. I was like, what is wrong with these people? You're even mentioning gematria, but you're not naming anything. Well, I hate how there's so many people out there that listen and pay attention, but they don't share any of this information with their audience. That said, at least he mentioned the word. But it's just, I don't know why so many people refrain from talking about this who are aware of it. This is the thing to talk about because it goes on every day. And that's the problem too. If there was a wave of people talking about this, that's what people need to see. Almost everybody needs to be in the herd. People move in herds. Oh, you believe in the invisible man in the sky too? Well, guess what? So do I, because I want to fit in also. Yeah, that must be true. Where can I drink some blood and eat some body on Sundays? You know what I mean? The only reason they really do that is because they need to be with the herd. Instead of people like believing in dumb things that are worthless and don't help anything. And again, you see how the communities that believe the most in that happen to be the most impoverished and doing the worst. And it's because they're investing so much of their energy in a total load of shit that was given to them to keep them right where they are. Again, we need the herd to actually become a good thing. People talking about real knowledge, real information used by the cabal. It's used to control us every day. It's used to mock us every day. The whole nation should see through this ritual with Trump just out of nowhere, all of a sudden just focused on this 42 days after his birthday. You know? Okay. Now, 42 also has a feminine quality in the most simple cipher. Lady 42. Female 42, bitch 42, right? And I didn't, you know, I've played the clip 1,000 times from 1989 of Mean Gene Okafor talking to Randy Savage and Hulk Hogan as the mega powers who are going to demolish the Twin Towers and their terrorist attacks. We talked about that clip a million times, and now Hulk dies, clearly in tribute to that ritual, as we've covered. But the other person who's mentioned in that clip is Miss Elizabeth, and I didn't realize that was Randy Savage's wife back then. And then she got married to Lex Luthor, but I didn't realize that this woman had been dead for a long time. Now, notice, she died at 42. Why does it look like that? Why is I've never seen can I fix this? What in the world? Huh. I've never seen it where my thing is over the photo. I don't know what's up with that. Let me just, maybe it'd be easier to just pull up her Wikipedia real quick. Okay. She died at 42. And you see her birthday, November 19th. It's the day leaving 42 days left in the year. So 42 is connected to race. It's connected to women. And you think about it, I mean, these are the two most discriminated groups in the history of discrimination, right? Especially in this country. If you were black, you didn't have rights at the start of the country. If you were a woman, you didn't have rights at the start of the country. The only people who did have rights were wealthy landowners, who are pretty much all white. And now, who's the president? This wealthy white guy that owns a lot of property, right? What's changed? As he does his 42 ritual against two black women mostly, and then Al Sharpton's kind of like the subheadline. But anyway, Miss Elizabeth, dead at 42 on what day? May 1st? What's May 1st? Is that the Illuminati's birthday? The Illuminati born May 1st, 1776, born by the Jesuit Adam Weishaupt. And just for the record, Jesuit alone's 42. And remember, Adam Weishaupt is 51. Randy Savage was her husband. Previously, he was in his 51st year of life when she died. And look at this. Hold on. I got to spell his last name right. Poffo. How many F's are in that? You see how Randy Poffo is 120 and 150? Her first husband, who's in the video. 120, 150. Look at Illuminati. And also the 42's there as well. 120, 150, just like Illuminati. You know? Look how perfect that is. She dies on the Illuminati's birthday. But think about that in light of what just happened this week. If you guys are new here, Order of Illuminati, what Adam Weishaupt ended up calling the Illuminati. It's 201, right? And in Hebrew, the letter and number code, 201 has to do with enlightenment, Illuminati, in the light. Again, the Illuminati founded by the Jesuit. Illuminati is an Italian word. The Jesuits served the Vatican in Italy. The Jesuit order, 201, right? This week, we saw the craziest ritual ever with 201s. We saw the Cosby actor. The Cosby Show ran 201 episodes. We saw him die on the 201st day of the year. And isn't it annoying being a million miles ahead of the whole online community every time? Because at first, the online community was like, oh my God, this is so sad. R.I.P., man, it's too bad he drowned. And now, somebody puts out a viral video and they're like, oh, did you see that his last interview that he gave about 48 hours before he died was kind of like critiquing, what's going on in Black America right now? Whoa, he gave a controversial interview right before he died. Whoa, is there something else to this? Is this suspicious? It's like, it's annoying being a million miles ahead of everyone, and all these channels that are in the Stone Ages, they're the ones getting all the views. It's like, why does everyone keep watching the people in the Stone Ages? Is it? And it's a rhetorical question. It's because all of humanity is pretty much in the Stone Ages. They're 100 years behind us in terms of knowledge and information and where they should be. But again, this 201 thing's not a joke. Again, most of the country still doesn't know about Event 201, the simulation for Cooties 19, right before the whole thing popped off. That did take place October 18th, 2019, the same day the military world games began in Wuhan, China. By the way, there's this phrasing in the Bible for Satan, that old serpent, which is 201 and 177, like the Jesuit order. And that matters because Event 201 was on 10:18, like in the Bible, it's Luke 10:18, where Satan comes to earth. But yeah, so you have the Cosby Show actor. Cosby Show ran 201 episodes, dead on the 201st day of the year. Then it's Ozzy Osbourne, the Prince of Darkness. And a lot of people falsely accusing him of being a Satanist. Ozzy Osbourne at no point publicly was anywhere near a Satanist. His music, if you actually looked into the lyrics, was more about exposing evil and corruption at the top. Anyway, I don't want to get into that. But Ozzy Osbourne did have a lot of suspicious deaths around him. As we talked about, the year that he toured with Metallica, Cliff Burton died in a major Jesuit ritual on about the most Jesuit day of the year, September 27th, the day in history the Jesuits were recognized by the Roman Catholic Church. And their first show together, Ozzy and Metallica, was June 13th, the day leaving 201 days left in the year. There's a lot more to that, but Ozzy came right after the Cosby actor, and then Hulk Hogan, who began wrestling in 1977 as a pro. That's the year the United States of America turned 201 years old. A lot of interesting things in 77. He's also listed as being 201 centimeters tall. Again, he dies, but then you add their three ages together, 54 plus. And by the way, the first one being 54, remember, Bavaria's 54, Jesuit order's 54. And by the way, I told you guys, right now my hobby when sweet girl's sleeping, and I pretty much have to have my daughter sleep on my chest or she'll only sleep for 15 minutes at a time. She just needs to be touched or she wakes up, so she'll sleep for 3 hours on my chest. So what I'll do for those 3 hours right now is I will binge watch The Walking Dead, because I've never watched it and I'm finding all kinds of gems in it. I might just write a book about everything they encoded in The Walking Dead. For anyone that has Netflix, go back and watch Season 5, Episode 4. It's the first episode that invokes the Jesuits. They're at a hospital. Remember, the Jesuits have a lot to do with everything going on in medicine today. The Catholic Church has the biggest private chain of hospitals in the world, just like schools. But Season 5, Episode 4, they talk about working at St. Ignatius Hospital, Jesuit. And then the episode ends with them talking in front of a painting of Ignatius of Loyola. Season 5, Episode 4 of The Walking Dead. It's just unbelievable, the stuff that's out there when you're aware. And remember, the Jesuit headquarters is at Building 54. Church of the Jesuit, at their peak, they had 54 Jesuit universities in the United States of America. The first Jesuit university in the U.S. was founded by a 54-year-old John Carroll. So now when we talk about the 54 list, we'll now reference Season 5, Episode 4 of The Walking Dead. First episode to reference the Jesuits. And just so blatant, a Jesuit hospital and a big painting of Ignatius of Loyola. Unbelievable. And don't forget who told you Diddy was going down a year before it happened at age 54 because of the whole Jesuit thing, and then it happened, and that's why they sentenced R. Kelly to prison at age 54 on September 27th, the big Jesuit day. And, it could have been worse. I mean, look at Cliff Burton, whose name equals 54. I mean, he died that day. At least R. Kelly gets to live on. So anyway, yeah, I'm talking Illuminati, right? Founded in Bavaria with the double 54, Order of Illuminati 201. Okay, so, yeah, I mean, this lady, dead at 42 on the Illuminati's birthday when she's part of that ritual with Randy Savage and Hulk Hogan, and the predictive programming for the Twin Towers come crumbling down. So 2 towers again became 0, and then they were rebuilt as 1. 2, 0, 1, Jesuit motto, both into 1. We just talked about this the other day. And look at the other familiar patterns. From her birthday to her death, 163 days later, the 38th prime. Again, if you're new here, death, murder, killing, RIP, all 38. 38 encoded right into Murder by Numbers movie poster. The song Murder by Numbers in 83, The Reflection. Sandra Bullock, the star. Film came out 38 weeks after her birthday. Not to mention Murder by Numbers came out on April 19th. The anniversary of Ignatius of Loyola becoming the first superior general of the Jesuits. Sandra Bullock's got the New York birthday too. Man, she just turned 61. 61, crazy. Crazy. It's hard for me to believe that she's that much older than me. I mean, I know Jeff Young will always tell us that's no lady. I would hate to find out that Sandra Bullock's really not a lady. But man, she looked young for her age. I never felt like she was 19 years older than I am. Jeez. But yeah, that movie came out 38 weeks and a day after her birthday. Killing Death, R.I.P., Gematria, English Cabal. And remember, Gematria, the killing names, the song by Slipknot. 2 members of the band are dead. They both died in 38 rituals. And now Ozzy's death is synced up with the proposal by the Slipknot member to his daughter after their farewell concert July 5th earlier this month. I'm gonna have to find a way to watch that concert. But yeah, the Slipknot guy who just got engaged to Ozzy's daughter, again, his 5th birthday was the day Ozzy bit the head off the bat in Des Moines, Iowa, where Slipknot's out of. And Ozzy did that on the 201st day of the nation's age on 20/1. And remember, they used that. We talked about that when Meatloaf died, what it had to do with, Event 201 and everything supposedly going back to a bat with the whole Cooties 19. But yeah, Miss Elizabeth, dead 163 days after her birthday, 38th prime. They said Miss Elizabeth died from acute toxicity, mixing pills and alcohol. Isn't it weird how Miss Elizabeth, and that's how she spelled it, M-I-S-S. They didn't do the M-R-S. It was spelled that way, M-I-S-S. Miss Elizabeth, acute toxicity, secret society, all 58. And run it into verse 77. Like United States. And that also reminds me, I should have pulled this up because that number also connects Randy Savage's death and his brother's death. I'll just pull that up here real quick. The brother of Randy Savage died at 68. His full name equals 68. He died 163 days after Vince McMahon's birthday on the 33rd day of the year. Vince McMahon, a 33rd degree Scottish Rite Freemason. Lanny Poffo, 38. Poffo alone, 58 and 77, like Miss Elizabeth. You know what I mean? He died 58 days before WrestleMania. This was all the 58 stuff buzzing at that time. Tyree Nichols' funeral in the Masonic Temple in Memphis, where MLK gave his last speech before he died in the Jesuit Masonic ritual. Randy Savage dead at 58. Again, just how the same numbers keep recurring. Miss Elizabeth dies early. Then Randy Savage does. Then Mark Poffo does. And they all die by the same numbers. I mean, Lex Luthor was born in 58, her second husband. And Lex Luthor was 44 when she died. Lex Luthor equals 44. Lex Luthor, 44. Oh, she had another man she was married to, too. Carrie Lebetsky. I missed that one. Married for 8 years to Randy Savage and married for 4 years to Lex Luthor before dying while he was 44. 4 and 44. 4 is associated with death. Kill equals 44. I wonder if we... Hold on. What day did Miss Elizabeth get married to Lex Luthor? December of 84. Huh? No. That's the divorce from Randy Savage. Wait a minute. I guess her Wikipedia is not quite right. It says they got divorced on that Ignatius Loyola Day, April 19th, 99. Wait a minute. I got to look more into this because something screwed up here. On Wiki, it says she's got married to him in 99 and was married until she died. But then here it says they stayed together after the divorce. All right, hold on. On Ignatius Loyola Day, funny, the murder by numbers day too. April 19th, she was involved in a domestic dispute with Lugar where he allegedly hit her in the garage of their townhouse in Marietta, Georgia. That's where John Benet Ramsey's buried. It's where the loud music killings happened, if you remember that. Marietta, Georgia comes up a lot. Marietta equals 33, suspicious town. And that is where she died. I've always said that forever. There's something up with that Marietta, Georgia. That's a... I'll tell you what, if I was the president of the United States of America, I would use the government's resources to investigate what is going on in towns like Marietta, Georgia, because there's something super suspicious there. There's something nefarious going on in Marietta, Georgia. And keep in mind, Georgia equals 44 too, like kill and execution. And it is the fourth state, being with Lex Luthor for 4 years before their dispute in the fourth month, right before her death on May Day, the Illuminati's birthday. On May 1st, yeah. Something super suspect about that. Okay. And, just for one other thing that's buzzing, another 79 tariffs ritual in the books. Remember on 7/9, it was all about Trump and tariffs, July 9th. Now here we are at July 27th, 2025, a date with 79 numerology, while Trump's 79 years old. And we got a tariffs deal between the U.S. and the European Union. And, 79 breaks down to 7. Have you ever seen Christine Lagarde, the former head of the IMF, who's now the head of the European Central Bank? Have you ever seen her numerology lesson on the number 7? If you've never seen that, that happened shortly after I learned about Gematria too, and I just felt like that was major confirmation at the time that I was on the right path. I was like, look at this. I'm putting out videos on YouTube, and all of a sudden the head banker of the International Monetary Fund, one of the biggest financial things in the world, is doing a numerology lesson for the public. Like CNN and everything even covered it that day, how goofy it was. Christine Lagarde talking numerology, this major central banker. I mean, to me, it all made sense. But I remember trying to get my sister to take a look at that time because she thought I needed to be committed to the insane asylum, talking about these number rituals in the news. And we all know who really needs to be committed to the insane asylum. Pretty much everybody, because you got to be insane to think this stuff's a coincidence every day. And I don't say that lightly. I mean, that's just a fact. This is Backwardsville. The 90% that think they're holier than thou because they're so up in their ignorance and everything they don't know but think they do know, they're the ones that got the real mental problems. Yeah, just another tariffs ritual by the numbers. Notice how the head of the European Union, you see how European Union has the 231 and 78, just like Ursula von der Leyen, 231, 78. And of course, the European Union has the big fat 201 in it. Sunday equals 78 and 84, so this ritual comes on a Sunday. It's the one thing that Trump's doing besides playing golf. The art of the deal. Yeah, I was just thinking about Christine Lagarde, though, the European central banker who actually looks a lot like this woman. If you've never seen her numerology lesson on 7, again, you should check it out. Today's 43 days after Trump's birthday. His ritual with Kamala and Beyonce was last night, 42 days. What's 43 in numerology? It's 7. Well, look up Christine Lagarde numerology lesson on 7 if you've never seen it before. It's another thing you can show your friends and family and say, listen, you think this numbers thing's stupid? Why do you think one of the most important bankers in the world is talking openly about numerology and the Magnificent 7? And it's such a bad presentation, though. You're like, is she botching her lines? This is a numbers lady? This is the lady who does numbers, and she's screwing up this bad, but she's trying to get it out. Also up here, Trump calls to prosecute Beyonce based on a non-existent $11 million payment. Again. Yeah, I remember the word black's 11, and assuming there's time to do it tomorrow, I'm going to cover Ozzy's death 11 days before the real Black Sabbath on August 2nd. That is the official Black Sabbath. Again, Black Sabbath equals 82 and 28, like August 2nd can be written 8-2 or 2-8. It's also the first day of Tisha B'Av. And again, it's a Jewish thing, the Black Sabbath and Tisha B'Av, and a lot of people don't realize, but Ozzy was Jewish. And don't forget, this whole thing is part of Jewish mysticism, which also has the 201. Just like State of Israel, where, you know, Tisha B'Av is pretty much observed. It mostly has to do with the temples that are over there. Solomon's Herod's in the third temple to come. So, yeah, anyway, I just want to do a nice little short stream. I've been a broken record about rituals with 42 in Black history since 2013. It's probably something I've talked about almost more than anything else. And again, I know there's a lot of people out there that are very aware of it, and they hint at it with their audience, like, oh, yeah, you got to check out the numbers stuff, the gematria, but then they don't say anything. It's like, why can't they just give like a little presentation to their own audience? I don't get it. Everybody's so afraid to talk about it. And maybe it's because they know that 90% of the populace is likely to demonize them and say nasty things about them, and they don't want to hear that. You just keep it in the shallow end of the pool. Like, yeah, you know, their number was up. Check out that number stuff. And they don't say anymore. They know that's... But again, that's a form of cowardice if that's what's going on. This cowardice doesn't cut it. So... All right. Yeah, I think I'm going to go back to taking care of the family, but I had to get on and vent about the latest 42 ritual. So... Thank you, Open Up. Open Up did link the Christine Lagarde magic number 7. It's one of those. This channel's got it right here if you guys want to look it up. Robert Rundle. Robert Rundle. I'd never heard this song right here that came up on the side. Teddy Swims Lose Control. I like the way this guy sings. I had to look this guy up, though, because I just want to remind about that. It's not all about all this 201. The crazy Chicago flood that just happened. The area that got swamped was where the Teddy Swims concert was. Remember, that concert was supposed to be on June 13th, the day leaving 201 days left in the year, but it had to get rescheduled. For some reason, he had to cancel it. 25 days later, it floods. And remember, weather controls 201 and floods 25. Somebody's trying to call in real quick. I'll take one call and then I got to get out of here. 404?
Hey, Zach. I wanted to touch in on you. Have you watched the news today? Because they had a white guy, a 40-year-old, goes into Walmart and stabs 11 people.
That was yesterday's news, right?
Was it? I thought it was today.
No, it was yesterday. It was the big story yesterday. Today they identified him. I honestly didn't even look at the story, but yeah, the old 11 again.
Yeah. I just wanted to.
I'll look it up real quick because I didn't do anything for that story. So, but I'll take a peek at it real quick.
All right.
Here, yeah. I saw the headline that they identified the stabber. I did see the big 11. It was definitely yesterday's news story. Madman who allegedly stabbed 11 in sick rampage at Michigan Walmart ID. That's the update today. He was 42. Go figure. Police have identified a 42-year-old man with multiple prior arrests as the violent nut who stabbed 11 people at a Walmart superstore. They're not going to tell me that he stabbed black people, are they? Bradford James Gill is in custody and awaiting arraignment on 1 count of terrorism and 11 counts of assault with intent to murder following the shocking stabbing spree in Traverse City, Michigan. Let me see something. So this town is on the 44th parallel, getting deadly already. Again, kill and executions 44. He didn't kill anybody, did he? He injured people. Nobody died. And it does say allegedly. Did this even happen? You just never know if it's in the news. It says Gill entered the big box chain store around 4:43. Nice. So we get a 44 in there and a 43. Kill, 44. Killing, 43. You would assume that he went in there with intent to kill if he stabbed people. He used a folding knife. Okay. Authorities are very confident that Gill is the attacker, said Grand Traverse County Sheriff Michael Shea. I love how the cop's name has a double 33. Michael 33, Shea 33, Police 33. His victims range in age from 29 to 85. And didn't we just see the court? Isn't it on the 85th meridian? It's on the 85th meridian. Isus hominum salvator, 85. With 6 of them over 60, Shea said. They are all expected to survive. Gill is from Afton, Michigan, and was listed as living in Sheboygan, about 80 miles northeast of Traverse City. He had multiple past arrests for criminal mischief and drug offenses and previously served 49 days in jail in Florida. Florida to Michigan, huh? 2 possible self-published books by Gill are available on Amazon, reveal him as a born-again Christian. The author turned to prayer at age 14 and 97. Oh, they got to reference 97. 97, the 25th prime, 2025. After the unfortunate loss of one of my close friends, the blurb on the book says. Hold on, I gotta take a look at the books from one author to another. What born again? Again, you guys, the born again Christian part. Remember, Jesus equals 11, and in that same cipher, New Testament's 42. The New Testament begins with the 42 generations to Jesus, and in Matthew 1 through 11, it depends on what translation you are. In Matthew 1 through 11, there's 56 male names used. Some are used multiple times. That's where the Society of Jesus 56 thing comes from. Not in every translation is it that way, though. They had to throw that 80 miles away part. I see the guy's name equals 80. Also equals 325, like Scottish Rite of Freemasonry. The Council of Nicaea, which pretty much invented Jesus, was in 325 AD. That's pretty much when Jesus was invented. So, no, that's not when it happened. Yeah, that's when it happened. Again, there's no proof of this guy anywhere. There's no historical record. There's nothing outside of that one book. That one book that doesn't sync up with any other history. Yeah, this was when Constantine was trying to figure out how to get more people under the Roman Church's influence. So yeah, then bringing up this Jesus thing is pretty interesting. And realize this happened on the Sabbath day, the day you're supposed to worship on. The Catholic Church moved it to Sunday. And please don't be the next person to give me some bullshit quote that doesn't make any sense about, no, the Sunday is the right day to worship. No, it's not. Saturday is the Sabbath day. The Sun cult, the Catholic Church, moved you guys to Sunday, and they put it right in your face. They gave you the language and the calendar, and they got you doing their rituals and eating bodies and drinking blood on Sunday. Couldn't get any weirder. And that's the kind of stuff people do when they don't question anything. They just go along with all the weirdest shit there ever was and think it's normal. And then if anyone comes along and tells them it's not normal, then they say that person's the one with the problem. It's like, I think I'm just the one with eyes to see. I'm not just some sheep. Look at the license plate they got the guy on. Do you see the license plate? Here's the guy who stabbed 11 people. Take a good look at that license plate. What's it on there? 2811? Really? Mason's got the old 28. 2811 for the guy who stabbed 11 people, huh? That's curious. And again, you really don't know that any of this stuff happens. It could be a police drill for all you know. They got to give you this shot too. They got to make sure they get another 11 in there. Do you think they're picking up on the 11s yet? I mean, we've only been doing it in the news 11, 11, 11, 11, 11 for... that been a minute kid, he cut out my whole quote about 11 and 9/11, and then he acted like, so I disagree with him on was 9/11, and some people ignored the facts. Like, wait a minute, all I gave you was a bunch of facts about how many 11s there were on 9/11. Those were all facts. What are you talking about? Look at the way they do this every day. 11 stabbed, arrested with a license plate with only 2 numbers on it. One of them was 11. This shot, 11. It's just, God, it's annoying. It is annoying. Did you guys, hey, by the way, did you guys see the headline? I saw it yesterday. Hold on. Hey, I just got to show you another one. Hulk Hogan, 20 hours of interviews, documentary. Did you see this? Hulk Hogan film. Look at how this is written right here. The subheadline is 71, right? That subheadline is 71, how he died at 71, and right before he did 20 plus hours of interviews. Remember, 71's the 20th prime, right? 71,
You're
20th
not talking about
prime.
the art of wrestling, are you? You're talking about the spectacle, the feeling, the vibe, the emotion.
Let me close that. But yeah, 71, 20th prime number. Not to mention death equals 20. Death, time, cross. A lowercase t's a cross. T's the 20th letter. This stabbing did happen on a date with 58 numerology, like Freemasonry's 58, like secret society's 58, like fraternal's 58, as in the Fraternal Order of Police, which is Masonic. Again, put a drill on, evacuate the store. Everyone's there. It's like, oh, yeah, it happened. I was there. I got evacuated. It's like, did you see anything? No, but I was there, and there was a lot of cop cars and some fire trucks and ambulance. Like, okay, that doesn't mean that anything happened, because they literally do drills like this in public places. And why would they do it? See, all the lemmings got all the same. Why would they do that? To justify their existence and how much tax money you pay for all this shit that you don't need? It's that simple. I could explain it to a little child. I could just write in a children's book. Once upon a time, there was a big evil government, and they wanted to control the people they ruled over. So what they did was they scared the shit out of the people all the time. I'd make the words a little friendlier for the child. They scared the shit out of them all the time and said, we just need a little more money to keep you a little safer. Send us a little bit more money. And funny enough, as they got more and more money and grew their forces more and more, somehow things got scarier and scarier. And the next thing you know, it was 2001 and things went boom and they turned into dust in the air and they were... Long story short, that was another line. Then they said, here's the Patriot Act. Yeah, just let us spy on you. Let us have surveillance over you. Let us build databases and keep all your records on you. And here, get one of these really expensive phones with the expensive bill per month so we can track every last thing you do. To be a patriot and cheer for the New England Patriots. Anyway, I mean, that is the story of America, and people are too dumb to see through the obvious. But, yeah, anyway. Do we have any more 11s in here? Well, let's see what the address is for the Walmart. I'm going to dive. It's at 1111 County, Michigan, Walmart. It's not. Thank God. It's open the next day. It closes at 11. The Walmart closes at 11. Okay. Look at that. Is that every No, that's not every Walmart's hours. That's not every Walmart's hours. I don't think so. It's funny. It closes at 11 though. Okay. What's the Walmart establishment date? I don't know if I ever looked into that. Walmart's been involved in so many mass shooting stories. So this comes shortly after their birthday anniversary. Walmart just turned 63 this July 2nd. Interesting birthday. 7-2, the midway point of the year. So this happened on the 26th. So it happened 24 days after the anniversary, or go figure, it happened on the 25th day, if you count the second as well. 24 days. Again, if it was July 3rd, you guys, would it be the first day of Walmart since the anniversary? Would it be the first day of the new age, or would it be the second? Of course, it'd be the second day. July 2nd's the first day. July 3rd's the second day. So it's 1 day later, the second day. So July 26th would be the 25th day in 2025. And if I'm not mistaken, Walmart equals 25. Walmart 25. Hold on, you guys. Celebrity appearance. Hey, big girl. Hey, big smiler. All right, somebody had to come be part of the video real quick. I got to wrap it up. Hey, you. Are you getting camera shy? Are you getting camera shy? Oh, yeah, here she comes. Don't hit your head on that corner. Hold on. Earlier today, we hit our head on the corner of the bookshelf. Hold on. I better wrap it up, you guys. It's family time. I'll do a written post on this, but yeah, a lot of 11s. Come here, you. Come here. Okay, we'll end with something sweet. So, yeah. Hey, you. Okay. All right, we're gonna wrap it up, you guys. Thanks again to everyone who hits the like and the share. And until next time.